Well, it's just a normal visit. You know, the Sport Commission actually reports to Mr. President, so we came to brief him on what we have done last year. And there are so many approvals Mr. President have given, and so we had to brief him on the stage of execution and also the plans for 2026. And so far so good. Mr. President is very happy, he's very excited with the progress, and he's still giving the unwavering support and the push that we need to be able to deliver on the mandate to create a sports economy in Nigeria.
Yeah, I remember the first time you discussed with us here after your appointment, you told us about your programs coming up to develop the sector. How far have you gone with that plan?
Well, I'm sure if you have followed now, you'll have seen that 2 weeks ago, Mr. President himself published it on his Twitter handle, the progress that was made in 2025. I mean, last year was huge. We made almost 375 medals across all sports. Contributed about 1.2% of the GDP in the third quarter of 2025. About 50 billion of private sector funding that have come in, you know, and all the firsts that we have won across all sports and also the challenges. So we are really on the right track, and I believe Mr. President is happy, and that's why we are now having this conversation to see how we can make it better in 2026 and beyond. And I submitted the annual report of what we have done formally to Mr. President, and then there are certain approvals. For example, he approved the constitution of the Nigeria Anti-Doping Agency, which is a must for us because WADA are on our case. Mr. President have signed the bill since last year. After almost 20 years in the hiatus, the anti-doping bill, he has signed it, and now he has approved that the board of the Anti-Doping Agency of Nigeria should be constituted, which is one of the conditions WADA want to see us achieved. Already Nigeria has been cleared and a clean country in sports, so we are really on the right track. And there are so many other approvals that Mr. President have given today that are for the benefit of sports going forward.
Do you have a roadmap towards making the sports sector really economically viable? Because that is the essence of what the President said, and that is
Yeah, of course. That was the reason why the President is talking about that. Sport is now not just being measured about the medals, it's being measured about what you contribute to the GDP, how much those you created. Last year, we induced almost about 140,000 jobs, both direct, indirect, and induced, across all the sporting ecosystem. That is how now we are measuring our sports. Another kind of parameters. I remember right from the beginning, we unveiled what we call the Renewed Hope Initiative for Nigeria's sports economy, the RINS framework, which clearly defines where we are going and what we are going, and has a clear objectives and has a clear outcomes that we are looking at, what will be the final outcome. And that is the final outcome we are seeing. We are winning on the pitch. We are also winning on the economic side. And one of the things that we have to now push more is about the infrastructure, because we need infrastructure to work. So we also discussed that. And part of the memos Mr. President is looking at to see how we can fast track the development of sporting infrastructure across the country, both the elite sports and also the grassroots sports.
I was going to talk about grassroots because a lot of analysts have been talking about that. What specific progress would you say you've made regarding development of grassroots sport?
Well, we have made an unprecedented progress on that. Remember the last sport festival that we held? We created what we call the invited junior athletes at the 38th state of the country, and they competed within that band, and you can see the talent that we have been able to unearth through that process. Everybody that followed that. We went to the Africa School Games in Algeria. You see how Nigeria did very well on that. We went to the Africa Youth Games in Angola. You see how good we have done in that. And also now we have created what we call the intermediate games. We're going to have it this year. To have under 18 to under 20, apart from the youth games that we held this year. So we are all doing that. And already we have a partnership, a collaborative partnership with the Ministry of Education. Myself and the Minister of Education are co-chair, so that we can bring back the school sports the way it should be, the Nuga games, the principal calls and everything. A committee already working on that. And if you look at the budget 2026, there's already provision for that. So we are really on track to do that. And we have a definitive directive to our sporting federation. If you are not showing us what you are doing on the grassroots and the domestic scene, we can't support you to go for international competitions.
Nigerians are very passionate about football. Any update from FIFA regarding our participation in the World Cup?
Well, it is what it is. You know, I keep saying it, you know. When we came in as a sport commission, already the World Cup issue is already virtually lost. Remember when we spoke here more than a year ago, we had 3 points out of 12, but we pushed, worked with the NFL, with everybody, and we nearly made it. We had the misfortune of penalties in the playoffs, we lost it, but we found out there are some breaches here and there, which we believe, even before we played the playoffs, the breaches, we noticed them and we already documented them. So ourselves at the NFF submitted to FIFA what we feel were the breaches against the rules and regulations, which is also part of sports. It's not being so losers, it's just what the sport it is. So the relevant bodies of FIFA are dealing with it, and we are hoping any moment we will hear their decisions, but we are confident we have the good case, but I keep saying we have put the World Cup behind us already. Whatever happens, it is what it is. But we are not looking at that. We are looking at how do you build for the next competitions, the next AFCON, the next WAFCON is next month, and what have you. You can see how we pushed the performance at the last AFCON in Morocco. Everybody was happy about it. So World Cup is a closed chapter, but yes, we have a pending legal issue to deal with. It's not within our competence to do that. Our own is to say this is what we feel was the wrong thing that was done. And we leave it. Even FIFA, it's not the FIFA deciding. There are independent bodies in FIFA who are independent of FIFA. The disciplinary committee, the ethics committee are independent bodies of FIFA. They make their decision based on what they see on the rules. And they won't tell you we're doing it tomorrow or next tomorrow. When they finish, they will tell the world. But we are confident that, yes, if it is legal issues, we know we have a good case. That's why we submitted the case.
One thing that
you submitted the JSA to the president.
Yes.
Well, what does that signify?
Yeah, it's to tell him thank you for the unwavering support he has been giving sport in Nigeria. Never like that. What the president has been doing for sport has never been like that. Everybody will tell you. Even the last week I was at the budget defense. The whole National Assembly and the Senate confessed that this is the best president that has supported sport the best way they can. Remember the decisive approvals and directives he gave a couple of weeks ago to reset the sport funding. That look, directing the relevant agencies that look, put adequate money for sport in the budget. And once the budget is passed by the National Assembly and Mr. President signed the budget, all monies for sports are due. They should be released immediately so that to avoid all this, that there's no money and around, because sports is timely. Sports need with time, work with time, with whatever. So if the monies are released not in accordance to the schedule, there'll be a problem. So Mr. President approved that so that we can plan well, we can progress well, and what have you. So we are good with that.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much.